being here. So straight on then, we've had apologies for absence, I believe, from
Councillor Stagg and Councillor Humphreys.
Okay, so I assume we're happy to accept those.
Yeah. Can I just say that Nell said that he wouldn't be here tonight. And also,
Yeah. No. So I think they've got ongoing apologies for this partial meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, next item is declarations of interest. So again, the usual opportunity to declare any disclosable community interests, other interests, dispensation, gifts or hospitality.
Normally at this time I had put my hand up and the clerk knows exactly what I'm going to say in advance, but as it's the deputy clerk, perhaps I should make it clear that what I'm going to say is that I am a parish councillor for Blackthorn and have been involved and remain involved with their neighbourhood plan working party.
You've got to declare your interest.
I am interested.
In what?
St Christopher's Drive resident.
Okay, next item is public participant rights on members of the public. So nothing to say, no. Okay. And I'm not aware of any consideration of requests for interested parties, no. So, okay, first item then is business advice is to receive an update from the neighbourhood plan working party.
Okay, well, I mean, obviously from the last meeting we discussed Cotterstock Road and that was accepted. We've I've had an email from Nick. He's discovered where the 3 car parks are now because he couldn't find them, but we've now got them. That's the Drill Hall, the Co-op St Os Lane and Herne Park East Road, so that's covered now, so we don't have to worry about that. He's also asked about the currently showing a number of proposed cycle paths. Should these all stay? Obviously I said yes because that was in the neighbourhood plan, so that's all sorted. So that's as far as Nick's gone, because obviously we were waiting for a report from him, which should be around about the 8th of April, which we all were told about at the last neighbourhood plan. So that's that dealt with. In regard to the consultants, you will have had an email from me that I didn't receive till 3 o'clock this afternoon, which is a brief draft of the proposed SA variants on the 2 sites we talked about at the last meeting. It's clear that both of them come out almost equal in the SA report. However, the one that stands out is the one that gives us the extra land for the cricket pitches and the cycleways and the footpaths. So we need to sort of ask if the council would, or the neighbourhood planning committee would go forward on that basis to prepare for maybe the draft at the next full council meeting.
Can I ask a question, please? I wasn't at the last meeting, but I did try and listen to it, because it was held in closed session.
Yes, it was. And
so what is happening with Cotterstock Road? Because I've not seen any minutes or anything.
Well, Cotterstock Road was agreed with ENC that they would prefer it if we did not put the 30 houses in there into our plan for several reasons. Firstly, because it's already in the core strategy and we are in OTP and it's in their plan as well, and they would look on it as a part development if we left the 30 in, and therefore it would be it's easier to take the Cotterstock Road site out and not cause conflict with either the ENC or part development.
So are there houses to be built there or not? That's the question.
In the longer term, the answer to that is yes.
And longer term being how long?
Well, we don't know. That's in the core strategy.
That will be within our plan period?
Well, we don't know. We have no. I don't have an answer to that, Malcolm, and nobody does.
Well,
But it is in the core
council,
strategy.
when the town have a meeting,
Yeah,
you'll get that question asked. How are you going to answer it?
I can't give an answer.
So we
I
may
can
not
ask.
end up with 300 houses, we may end up with near 500 houses.
Malcolm, all I can do is get the neighbourhood plan through. I can't tell you what will happen a year, 2 years down the line. Nobody can. Because
I
all that
appreciate
happening.
that. You know, I appreciate the amount of effort you've got to put in. It's not a criticism.
No,
But
I
I think
appreciate
we
that.
need to know, and the town will need to know where it stands. And that also probably includes, I hate to say it, it's not in our borough, but that Barnwell Park development too. The marina.
The marina.
People will look on that as being part of the town.
I totally agree with you, but
Which
it's
it
not.
is.
And unfortunately, again, we're not able to make comment about developments that are not in Oundle. For instance, like the houses that are on part of Codstock Road, which are in Blackthorn.
Well,
Now,
because
Blackthorn,
didn't we have an agreement about a cross-border agreement with Blackthorn? They wouldn't develop.
well, unfortunately, I mean,
So,
Blackthorn
and
have,
if Blackthorn do something else, then haven't we got every right to at least object to it?
no,
Like anybody else.
Blackthorn have continued with that line that they don't want development, but they are in the same predicament as we are, that because Codstock Road is in the core strategy and in the RNTPO, the chances are there will houses will be built there. We have no control over that, and we can't control it in the neighbourhood plan either, because it won't make any difference if it's in there or not.
As far as the public's concerned, is when you talk about 300 odd houses, it's not going to be 300, it's going to be near 500 if you put that in.
Well, yeah,
And that
but
is the truth.
Yeah, I know, Malcolm, but
We
that's
shouldn't
not.
be disguising the
That's
truth.
not. I know, but that's not Oundle. I can't deal with houses outside of the Oundle boundary.
I know.
And
I know you can't,
you know,
but when we go to the public and talk to them, we should tell them the truth.
I'm quite happy to do that.
Yeah.
Malcolm, I've no, you know what I'm like. I don't sort of, try and mess things up. I try and tell people what I think is correct, and I think you're dead right. There will be more houses built there, but I can't control that. All I can do is work on the neighbourhood plan to get it through so that at least the people of Oundle have some sort of plan that they can work to, even if it gets busted by the next developer just saying, well, I'm going to build there anyway.
So were we wasting our time talking about no development on the Blackthorn side before? Should we have done that? Were we wrong?
We shouldn't have put it in the first place, but Codstock Road, I mean.
I'm talking about Codstock Road,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. It shouldn't really have been put in.
No, I think Councillor's got a point, but I think also at the same time, I defend Councillor Peel.
I'm not taking council.
No. It's your point is valid in the fact that what we've got to be correct. We've got a town meeting coming up, great opportunity. The confusion in the town is a misunderstanding of how much is Oundle, how much is not Oundle. And I think the clear message that needs to be put to the town is where our boundaries are and what our responsibilities are. And then there will be understanding if there is extra building that is beyond our control. Because, it's nothing to do with us. This is a higher thing. And I think if we can ascertain our boundaries clearly to the town, and they don't know a lot of them misunderstand, we misunderstand the boundaries. So if we misunderstand it, then they're going to do it. Make it clear where we finish at South Road and all the Barnwell developments and all the other developments they're hearing about, it's got nothing to do with us. Then hopefully the message will be clear what we're responsible for and what other people are responsible for. And I think if you make that, it's got to be some map or something to make it very clear. I just want to make that point because we have an opportunity to get that bit right and sorted, and we should.
But that site is in the district plan.
It's in the ENC's plan, yes. It doesn't actually have to be in the ENC's plan. To be honest, that's why I believe they've actually had to redo the whole consultancy part. Because half of what they put in the local plan is totally incorrect. And they've had to bring in new consultants to actually deal with all this.
That site, it's in the district plan at the moment.
It's in
And do we know how many houses it's in the district plan for?
Well, they've put down 130 houses.
130.
Yeah.
And if it's in the district plan and that plan is approved, there will be 130 on that site.
No, you see, it's in the core strategy for 130. And it's in ENC's plan for 130. What we have to do, and we have a really good opportunity to do this now, is that we have to get our neighbourhood plan approved before the local plan gets approved.
Yeah.
And because of the problems they've got with the consultants they've had, and now that their delay is such that the chances of them getting their local plan actually even to inspection before spring next year gives us a chance to get our plan accepted by ENC, put forward to examination, hopefully accepted by examination. There might be one or two differences, but hopefully the whole thing, and to referendum, and in order before the local plan actually has any authority at all.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is, if our plan is approved when we have our referendum, and the district plan is approved when they have their referendum, whenever it comes along, what Councillor Glenn's fear was that we may end up with considerably more than 312, which was our proposal in the neighbourhood plan, might well occur.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
I can't do anything about it,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, if I could, I would.
I think that's what Councillor Glenn was hinting at. That's,
Yeah.
he's trying to get.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, sorry, just to go back on what happened last time we had a big planning application around here, was it was pointed out that there was adequate land already allocated for housing, and therefore there was no need for that additional housing.
Yeah.
So if we have 300, that are allocated, surely the planning review should take that into consideration, i.e. there is no need for those additional houses.
Yeah. They look at housing stock.
Yeah, so we'll, we should have met that requirement.
That's always the case with planning. Whenever it is, be it a neighbourhood plan or not, they will always look at that.
Yeah.
But I think that's where Councillor Glenn was going.
No, I understood exactly what Councillor Glenn meant, and as I said, unfortunately, I haven't got a power over anything out of outside
No, we
realm.
can't control it.
No, we
You
haven't.
know,
We can't control it. But
no, all I can do is make sure that our neighbourhood plan is accepted on the basis that we're now looking to do, because we've now, if everybody's acceptable to what we are doing now, we've cut out park development, we've sorted out the density, we've got all the benefits from your plan, Roy, all the benefits that are still in there.
it's not my plan.
Sorry,
It's
I'm
never
saying from the original
plan.
local neighbourhood plan from last time. We've got the cycleways, we've got the walkways, we've got everything now in the plan, so that if we're right on density, if we're right on park development, we should now have, because nothing's going to be easy with the ENC, a fair chance of the local plan being accepted.
And we are just receiving this update tonight. We're not voting on anything tonight. That comes in 2 weeks' time at the full council.
Well, we haven't got the full information available yet.
No, all I had today, because I wanted to give something to you tonight if I could, so I asked Vicky from the consultants to put together what the SAA is going to say. Obviously, the SAA will be in more detail. Sorry, the SA. So, I mean, in other words, what we're saying really is that we know which way we're going, providing it's acceptable to the next full council meeting. And if it's acceptable for them, we can then crash on and get it done and sorted. And hopefully by the town meeting, we'll have something very solid and very sustainable to tell people. And hopefully they'll be, happy with what we've done.
When is the town meeting, by the way, relative to our next meeting?
24th, is that the day after?
That document there.
It's the 26th.
Is the day after? it's a full meeting.
24th is the Wednesday 24th. When's
Just,
our-
and you've said about calling it Roy's plan, which it never.
No, what I meant was,
But you're talking
Roy was the
about your
leader.
plan. Do you go on your own and have meetings? How does it work now?
Sorry?
I mean, do you and Tony go, or?
No.
How do you, is there a meeting?
Generally, the three of us have tried
Yeah,
to be.
Right.
it's a working party with
And also,
with Roger Sturman.
Yeah, yeah.
Minutes. The meetings are all minuted.
yeah.
On Thursday, we've got a meeting with ENC, Richard Palmer, and Paul Bland, of which, if Emma's better, she's taking minutes or.
And Phil Stern still attending as well. So
And
it's-
it'll
it's
all
Phil
be-
Roger
and
and
Phil Stern
Phil
is there
yeah.
as well. So
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
and I've never talked through that, but it's my plan. I just sort of, if I did, it was a slip. I do apologise. What I've done, I've tried to do it for Oundle, not me. It's nothing, so I haven't done my plan.
Yeah. As Peter just mentioned, we've got a meeting with the ENC planners on Thursday, so we'll see what comes out of that. I mean, obviously, as you know, we're very much not aligned, very much not comfortable with where we are at the moment. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see whether there's any attempt from them to try and meet some sort of try and agree on some sort of consensus, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I guess
Good luck.
yeah. But you know the history, so we'll see how we get on.
Look, I think the main thing is that we now have, Oundle has a plan that, if accepted the next council meeting, will and could go forward and be fairly sure of success. As much as you
Well,
can.
success in terms of us getting what our plan through in terms of what we want. I thought, as Council again has made the point, and as I think as Roy said as well, it doesn't mean that we actually end up getting what we want, because it still means that there are other sites that could be developed if ENC see fit to approve them.
Had we, before submitting it for inspection, had we thought of doing what we did once before, submit it to NPERS, which effectively is submitting it to the inspectors unofficially for them to cast an eye over it before it goes for their approval or disapproval?
To be honest, Roy, no, I hadn't thought about that, and the reason that I haven't thought about it is two reasons. Is that NPERS, I didn't know would do that, and secondly, because at the time we were in a rush because we wanted to get the neighbourhood plan in before the local plan, I ignored any type of other way of getting acceptance. So I didn't know about we could do that in the first instance, but the problem is time. I mean, I don't know how long NPERS take. We don't have a time, infinite time to do this. We need to get it done and sorted and get it in so the local plan comes after hours, not before.
I kind of question what the value of it would be as well, because we've already had that feedback on what is substantially the same plan. It will be adjusted, obviously,
Yeah.
but we've already had that. I don't recall that feedback being particularly helpful. It was mainly fairly minor points that were raised, and indeed they didn't.
What came up there was mainly cosmetic.
Yeah, and they didn't raise the points that ENC threw back at us in terms of saying it wasn't an acceptable plan. So,
Well, the thing is, they are the inspectors, the very inspectors who will inspect and either approve or reject our plan. So if the best thing they can do is come up with something that says, every time we wrote we might do this, they change it to we will do that. If that's the total extent of the modifications they found in the plan, and that was pretty well it. Where have we had a problem with getting our plan acceptable for district council or anybody else?
I think the problem is that it's not the examiners really that I actually fear. I actually think it's ENC that we have to jump the hurdles more than anything else, because they're the biggest stumbling blocks. And if we've now because of the essays we've done, because of the plans we've done, because of the planning we've got, we've now jumped over every hoop they put in the way in May. We've now got a plan that if they do something about this plan this time, they are obviously totally biased and will not put any plan through that we want.
Yes.
It's as simple as that.
We've done it. Yeah, I agree.
You know, we've done it, we've sorted it, we've got an excellent plan to go through now. It's just a matter of ENC. So I'm not worried about the examiners. I think the examiners will pass it if ENC do.
No, just a question really, whether you got that in mind as a stage.
No.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
But I think personally that, you know, having read the various documents we had back from Nick Griffin, he seems to be thorough in the same areas that you're talking about, you know, in what he's picked up on our plan. So he hasn't just corrected line by line what ENC put in it. He's gone back to all the references to the state and national standards, you know, and got them in. So I think, personally, I'm quite confident in what he's done. I wasn't aware of the last feedback and the quality issues in it. You know, the fact that we had that shed load of things came in after they'd approved it, you know, sort of as an indication.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got good confidence in
But
this.
we've had the same confidence after Maroon Planning did their
Yeah.
consultancy work for us. We had the same thing after James Wilson produced his report.
Yeah.
We had the same thing again after the next consultant.
So I'm just feeling that you
So-
could keep on spending money
Yeah.
with these people,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it's probably best just to
All of them found
throw your hat
something
in.
to change,
Yeah, I think we've
We
done our
always will,
best.
won't they?
which has happened
Yeah.
again.
Well, we have, the thing is with these, what they've done is reinforced almost everything we've asked. And the changes that we've made or want to make, they have double checked and checked to make sure those changes are viable and sustainable. I think, you know, what we've done this time is we've cut out all the problem areas that we had. And, you know, we can't do any more than that. We've done everything we can possibly do. And I think we've now got the plan that will work.
Well, I hope so. I think the next issue is ENC and whether they really want to go
Yeah.
onwards.
So we'll find out
Whether
on
they put
Thursday.
another hurdle on.
Yeah,
find out
Thursday
soon.
we'll find out.
Yes, we will.
I think, to be
Well,
honest,
I think it's where the real issues lie. You know.
I think, to be honest, ENC have got their fingers burnt from the last consultants, and they are,
All right.
I think personally, now looking at maybe ways of putting a olive branch towards Oundle and the neighbourhood plan, and I'm hoping on Thursday that will happen. But
We don't deserve to be
we will
treated.
see what they say. I won't be putting any of the neighbourhood plan to them. I'm hoping that they will give us their indication of what they think would be helpful to us, rather than us giving them all the information that we have.
Excellent. Excellent stuff there. Really good.
Okay. Are we happy to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. The next item is to approve the agenda for the annual town meeting. So you've had a chance to see it before this evening. Emma sent me a copy, but I don't know that she sent it to everyone else. I asked Emma to include timings, and I asked her to aim for an hour. So she's allocated those timings to each. I'm sure it will take more than an hour in time to do that, because clearly there will no doubt be questions after each of those individual items. But I'm going to try and make sure that we have brief, snappy presentations on each of those areas. Throw it open to questions and hopefully get the whole thing done within 2 hours. And I'm also hoping that some other councillors are going to be presenting the bits of this information as well. So I'm rather than being me stood at the front and them having to listen to me for the whole of that hour, I'm hoping that I can persuade interested parties to take ownership of one or two of those as well. So that was the way I've done it. That's what I'm proposing, and that's what we're looking for your approval for.
I think if I was going to do it, I would actually do it slightly differently. And the rationale for that would be this. If we open up the update from Oundle Town Council on the neighbourhood plan and allow questions at the end of it, the timings will disappear out of the window so fast that you can see them for dust. And we might yet be pushing it by the end of the evening to have fitted everything in that we wanted. If you actually put the district councillors and county councillor slots before the update from Amble Town Council. So in a sense, you deal with everybody else first. You then say, we will have a presentation on each of these subjects, then we will open it up for questions. You are more likely, I would have thought, to hit your target.
Because people can get away if they want to, but they're still there for
So
questions.
it's just in the neighbourhood plan to the last.
Well, there might also be a case for pushing that back, because I suspect it's the one thing that is going to get by far the most questions and interest. Now, there's an argument for taking it first, so that people can do it and then, as we've observed, potentially leave. On the other hand, to ensure that we get through everything else, might be that we would put the neighbourhood plan to the back. I'm less worried about that than I am about the idea of ensuring that questions only come at the end and after we've got through everybody else.
Could I just say that I think that's a very good idea to put it at the back, because you will keep people there, and there's lots of other things they want to see.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, you keep your juiciest bit for the
Yeah.
last,
Yeah.
so that people stay.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're good suggestions. I mean, in terms of being able to manage the questions, I'm pretty sure I would be able to guillotine the questions to the appropriate time, if only by saying, look, we'll come back and take further questions at the end. But we've got a time. Well, we're going to stick the time to what we've got, and we'll come back to it later, or you can talk to us after the meeting. But
One item that we haven't got down here
Yeah.
that they might want to hear about is where we are with Fletton Field.
You've got anywhere with it.
Possibly isn't going to be a long item, but
It ought to be, definitely.
it ought to be there, I think.
That will allow the person from Fletton to speak, in the desert, the lady will give us another voice.
Christine Paul.
Yeah.
Christine has now resigned as chair.
Oh,
We have the treasurer of the group in the room. I think it's Andy Jevons has taken over as chair now, so Andy Jevons might well give you 5 minutes.
I think that'll be worth it. That'll be another highlight. I think.
It's something of great interest to the town, and it's something of great value to the town. They've made that clear. So I think probably we should put it in as a 5-minute presentation.
I think that would be doable. I don't think it will generate a huge number of questions. I wouldn't have expected, so we'll probably squeeze that in for a few minutes. Yeah.
I would say that Fletton Field is still in the neighbourhood plan as well.
Yeah.
So that hopefully, if that gets passed, it will be protected as well.
Okay. So the suggestions we've got then are move district and county councillors to the top of the meeting, perhaps after the police update.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neighbourhood plan.
Neighbourhood plan to the bottom, Fletton Field to be squeezed in if we can get someone from the group to give us a very quick update.
Oh, that's this gentleman.
Can we talk for 10 minutes on Queen Victoria Hall? Is there enough to say?
I wouldn't. No, I know it's an issue.
Yeah.
It's an issue to me, but I don't think it's an issue at the moment we're ready to go to the town with.
So you think we don't think we want to take it at all?
I don't think so. Personally,
We had a bit of a debate at was it finance or was it this full council? I can't remember.
well, no, it's
full council or finance.
the Queen Vic Hall Trust, wasn't it?
It might be Queen Victoria Trust. Yeah. I mean, QVH is quite a big expenditure for the town. So the suggestion was that we highlight that and just gauge the public's opinion as to whether they think that's a good use of council monies and their council taxes.
Yeah, I think a mention should be done. Those meetings are very good gauges of how people feel.
I mean, again, probably not 10 minutes, but I mean, it could even be something that I could incorporate into the
I think so.
into the financial accounts.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Well, that was what I was going to say.
Yeah.
If we expanded the financial accounts to 10 minutes
Yeah.
and spent a certain amount of time within that
Yeah.
mentioning the QVH, then go on to the
Yeah.
QVH to indicate that we'd like some feedback.
yeah,
Okay.
That's fine.
that's good. Yeah.
The other observation I've got then, we've got the item there about ideas for the town plan. Transition Angle to me is a sort of major contribution to the town, and somehow those two items, Transition Angle and the town plan, need to be merged as if they're one thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
and I don't know how to manage it,
Well,
other than Transition Angle standing up and talking.
Yeah.
But But whatever we do, we need to give recognition for the great work that group have done.
Yeah. Well, I'll get in touch with Transition Handle then and ask them if they
Again,
can.
you've got one of them present
Would it-
in the room. Whether he or one of his colleagues. Yes, sorry.
Would it be possible then for you to sort of do maybe a couple of
David
minutes
wouldn't speak.
on the town plan, and then introduce Transition Handle for a slightly longer?
Well, I think that yeah. We'll work it out between us. Yeah.
I think that's, that way you've got and because I understand that we're going to be putting some sort of stalls around the edge as well.
Yes.
Yes, with maps.
Yeah, that's what the last bit was. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, any
Bring out the old maps again.
Yeah.
Well, if we are going to do that, we need to be talking to the people who might be
Well,
planning
that's
those.
because we talked about this last time.
Yeah.
I didn't see it on here.
I don't know if Emma or anyone's.
Emma's got a list. I
I don't know if she made any contact yet or not.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not that far away, is it?
No.
Actually, one of the things, if you could just highlight it, the flood stuff should be on there as well as that report we got done. Should be in there as a sort of stand.
Okay.
I'll be there, hopefully,
Okay.
in the queue.
Good. That was really good feedback. Thank you very much, everyone. that was great. I thought it's definitely improved from that input.
The end is there at the beginning, and the beginning is the end. The bit in the middle isn't there at all.
That's disappeared.
Is everyone happy with that? I don't feel.
Yes.
I don't feel the need to take a formal vote. I think we've taken all your feedback
Yeah.
and we'll incorporate that. Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Very good.
And
Okay.
the tea and coffee idea was one.
Can we just put it in another, I won't be here next week, council, but it's something to bear in mind. We've been given £3,000 grant to spend on flood stuff,
Right.
and the sort of suggestion is that you get yourself an emergency pack. But I need that to be put to the council. I'll work it out, but that's
Yeah.
something that's in the back of the mind.
Okay.
There's money coming in.
I think that £3,000 would be far, far better used in a champagne dinner.
I'll follow the plan.
Okay.
I'd rather think the councillor's tongue was firmly in this.
Do hope so. Okay.
Shed.
Finally, then, is there any other relevant matters for report only? So, has anyone got anything other than the flood grant, which you just heard about?
Bearing in mind that the next meeting isn't due to start for 30 minutes, can we find something very juicy to talk about for the next 25?
Oh, we're a bit early, aren't we?
Well, I mean, luckily, there wasn't that much to talk about, was there? Because it was fairly straightforward tonight.
Unusually so.
Okay. All right. If
Are we
everyone,
going to sit there twiddling our thumbs for a bit?
you might be. I'm going home.
Good for you.
All right. I'm going to close the meeting then. Thank you, everyone.